You have fixed your calories, you've increased your protein, but you still don't see that toned look in the mirror. Why? Because nutrition alone is only half the battle. If you aren't sending your body a clear signal to keep its muscle, it's going to burn it off right along with the fat. Today, I'm showing you the final piece of the puzzle, the exact training and lifestyle shift that takes you from just smaller to actually firm and defined without spending 2 hours on a treadmill. Let's get one thing straight. You cannot tone a muscle that isn't there. When you are in a calorie deficit, your body is hunting for energy. If you aren't lifting, your body sees muscle as high maintenance, basically a luxury it can't afford to keep, so it gets rid of it. This is why women end up skinny fat. The scale goes down, but everything feels softer in the mirror. I used to be the woman spending 90 minutes all over the place in the gym. But now at 40, I get better results in 45 minutes tops. The difference is focusing on compound movements. These are exercises that move multiple joints and hit several muscle groups at the same time. So, for example, squats and lunges. These target your entire lower body, glutes, quads, and hamstrings, while forcing your core to work as a stabilizer. Then overhead presses and push-ups. These shape your shoulders and chest, but they are also a secret to firming the back of your arms. And lastly, rows and pull downs. These target the large muscles of your back, which pulls your shoulders back and improves your posture instantly. For most women, 3 to 5 sessions per week is the sweet spot. You don't need a complicated body part split, you just need progressive overload. This doesn't mean you have to lift 200 pounds tomorrow. It means that every 2 weeks or so, you should try to do 1 more rep or 2 more pounds, or try to move with better control. If you lift those same pink dumbbells for 3 years, your body has no reason to change. You have to give it a reason to keep or grow the muscle and drop the fat. Now, let's talk about the cardio trap. I thought that high-intensity cardio, like endless running or HIIT classes, was the only way to burn fat. I was doing exactly that. But at 40, those treadmill sprints just led me to joint and knee pain that kept me from working out for days. As we get older, we have to work with our bodies, not against them. This is where low-intensity training and steady-state movement become your best friends. Things like brisk walking or incline walking are incredibly effective because they don't spike your stress hormones and are easier on your joints. I personally use LIDs to round out my workouts. Depending on how much I have moved that day, I'll add 15 to 30 minutes of incline walking after my lifts. It keeps the heart rate in a fat-burning zone without the high-impact wear and tear. But the real secret to staying lean isn't just the extra cardio. It's your NEAT. That stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is just all the movement you do outside the gym. I stopped obsessing over calories burned on a treadmill and started focusing on my daily step count. Aiming for 8 to 10K steps is the most sustainable way to support fat loss. It doesn't trigger those intense cravings like high-intensity cardio does, and it doesn't require a recovery period. Think of your strength training as the tool that builds your shape and your daily movement as the tool that burns the fat. Now, let's talk about the parts of fat loss that we usually ignore because they are not hard work in the gym. This is where I see so many women my age struggle even when their diet is perfect. First, sleep. I used to pride myself on getting by on 5 or 6 hours, but at 40, your body sees a lack of sleep as a major stressor. When you are sleep deprived, your hunger hormones get completely out of whack. This isn't a matter of willpower. When you are that tired, your body gets into survival mode and craves sugar as a quick energy source. If you aren't getting 7 to 8 hours, you are essentially driving with the handbrake on. And then there is stress. We all have it. Work, kids, or just the mental load of running a household. But chronic stress keeps your cortisol elevated. This is that fight or flight hormone that tells your body to hold on to midsection fat and break down muscle for quick energy. I've had to learn the hard way that you can't just push through high stress with more exercise. Sometimes the best thing you can do for fat loss is a 20-minute walk or an extra hour of sleep rather than, a brutal workout that just adds extra stress on an already tired system. So when you finally put these pieces together, fat loss feels a lot less like a battle and more like a plan. You have the metabolism and calorie math from part one, you have the protein and nutrition focus from part two, and now you have the training, movement, and lifestyle habits from today.